Hey everyone, I'm Wayne Bogan, a certified flight and instrument instructor. I'm partnering with the team at JetWithJoe to help build the largest network of independent flight instructors across the nation and provide you with access to the best independent flight instructor in your area. To understand why I'm going down this path, let me give you a quick glimpse into my history and where I'm going next. Like many of you, I've always wanted to fly airplanes since I was a little kid, and finally decided to pull the trigger at the age of 56 for my third career. So I retired from a corporate job, started training the next month, did some quick research and chose Blue Line Aviation out of Smithfield, North Carolina as my accelerated flight training to ensure that I had a structured and fast-paced flight school. Blue Line worked out really well for me to achieve my ratings in a little over 7 months, which included about 2 months of delays for weather, 2 hurricanes, and then time off that I spent with the family in between some of my certifications. I had really good instructors at Blue Line, and they did a great job of coaching me through the certification programs. While Blue Line was great for me, I've come to realize that there's an option that can be even better, faster, and more cost-effective to achieve all your certifications. Zero to hero programs, zero experience as a pilot to getting ready to go into and prepare for programs like the airlines are great at areas like Blue Line and ATP. Blue Line Aviation is a combination of a Part 61 and Part 141 school. It's going to run you a little over $100,000 to go through from the beginning to the end in their Zero to Hero program. ATP, similarly, is a Part 41, may have some Part 61, and it'll cost you over $120,000. Now, part of the challenge is that's your training and may not include all of your housing, meals, supplies, and check ride fees. Blue Line is a 5.5-month program. ATP is usually a 9 to 11-month program. And as you see with me, it took me 7 months instead of 5.5, with some time off at different points to go into and do that. The better option is to look at going with a flight school or an independent flight instructor that will provide you accelerated training with a dedicated instructor flying 2 to 3 times a day, whatever you can handle and whatever you can deal with the weather, and flying at least 5 days a week. This type of accelerated program can be accomplished for as much as a potential $60,000 savings over the larger flight schools and saving you significant time and money. This method is also recommended for and by pilots like Mike and Sean at the Pro Pilot Playbook, Trent Deersmith at Fly with Trent, and several others. And now, having looked at it, wish that I had gone down this path. By finding a dedicated instructor with a dedicated aircraft, you can minimize the challenges of a larger flight school by not having to wait on multiple students using the exact same aircraft all day. I know with Blue Line, quite often, the plane would be scheduled from 6 a.m. many times to midnight every day with multiple instructors and students going through. And if you have a large number of students, it's difficult to get time in that plane each day without having to go to the next day. Each instructor in the network will be working with 1, 2, maybe 3 students at a time. This, and to help it make it work for you, will give you a better opportunity to be focused and to quickly go through all of the steps. And one of the things you'll find with independent instruction and going through an accelerated program is that instead of flying on the weekends, flying all during the week, you remember what you did in the last flight and the next one, and you're building the blocks for the foundation and for each of the steps as you go through your training. Now, speaking of steps as you go through your training, there's 5 main steps to get ready that I want you to go through in preparing for picking a flight instructor or a flight school. Number 1, before you start and spend any money on all these others, go and get your medical completed first. If you can't get your medical, then you won't be able to fly. So why start training, get $5,000 or $10,000 in your training, go take your medical and realize that you can't go any further. You've just wasted that money. Number 2, pick a ground school, which is essentially an online classroom. And there are companies, Gold Seal, Sporties, King School, Pilot Institute, that have great programs that will help you to go through the content, learn the material, take practice exams, and then they will give you an endorsement, which you're required to have to go take your FAA written exam. Next, go, schedule, and take and pass your FAA written exam, and then come in and begin your flight training. It's better to understand all of the concepts here versus trying to fly 2-3 times a day and go home and study at night. You're just going to be exhausted. Take charge of your training by digging into the Airman Certification Standards, or ACS, and understanding the requirements for your certification. This lets you drive the outcomes of what you're going to achieve in your certification process. Then align yourself with a dedicated instructor to go fast and to make sure that you can fast track your success from beginning to end in whatever level you want to achieve. So if you want to turn your dream into a reality of earning your pilot certificates, sign up now to find the best instructor for you. Good luck, and I hope to see you in the sky.